Hey Husker fans, Sam McKewon with the Omaha World-Herald, omaha.com and huskerextra.com with our three keys to the Nebraska-Illinois game. Welcome back to our three keys segment. We are game one, game week 0. The Huskers going to Champaign to play the Illini, a team that beat Nebraska 41-23 last year. Nebraska has struggled in the last 2 years against Illinois, especially with turnovers. Obviously, those are going to be important again. If Nebraska thinks it can turn the ball over 4 or 5 times at Illinois and win, they probably have another thing coming. So our three keys won't focus on the most obvious thing of all. Don't be absolutely terrible with your ball security. Instead, we'll look at the things that we feel like may determine this game outside of the turnover realm. And so the first one, key number 1, is watch those outside runs from Illinois with those pulling guards. Last year, the Illini did a really, really good job of pinning the inside linebackers inside, getting them sort of in the wash, and then leading those outside runs with running backs who could bounce it outside and then try to beat Nebraska to the line. That happened more than once in the game, and Nebraska really has to watch that. Illinois is probably going to have a run game that's fairly similar to what they did the last couple of years. Hey, you know what? It worked against Nebraska, and so there wouldn't be any particular reason to go away from zone runs or pulling guards or power plays, getting an extra hat on one side, especially to the short side. Illinois was good at that against Nebraska last year. So Nebraska's got to be smart about those plays. They have to set a good edge, make sure that those running backs don't get all the way to the corner. They don't get around the corner, around the sideline. And then those inside linebackers can't get sucked inside too easily. They have to make sure that they're getting out there and trying to turn that play back into safeties, because what was happening is guys like Luke Reimer were getting pinned inside. There was a beautiful alleyway for Chase Brown or Mike Epstein to run in, and those safeties were having to give chase. And so if Illinois can get success breaking long runs, it's probably going to be another tough game for Nebraska. Illinois had 5 or 6 chunk runs in the last 2 years against the Huskers. Obviously, they had a couple last year, and then they had 3 or 4 in that 2019 game, including a long one that went for a touchdown. So that's something Nebraska needs to watch. I think Nebraska's run defense is going to be good. I think you're going to see it be excellent against Fordham and Buffalo, Oklahoma, Michigan State, Northwestern. But this game, Illinois, I think they're actually going to be more challenged to stop the run against Illinois than maybe the next 5 or 6 games, because I think Illinois's got pretty good running backs and a pretty good offensive line. Key number 2, feet on the ground. What do I mean by that? Well, it's sort of metaphorical that Nebraska can't get too far ahead of itself and try to get 7 points with every single play, but it's also literal with Adrian Martinez. Martinez is a dynamic player outside of the pocket. He always has been, right? Especially when he's rolling to his right, which is his arm side. He's able to do some pretty cool things when he's rolling to his right. But you know what? Nebraska's pass offense has enough in it and has enough good receivers in it that Martinez has to anchor down in that pocket. Anchor down. Get those feet in the ground. Keep them light, obviously, but don't necessarily bail that pocket. Keep your footwork. Deliver the football from the pocket and hit receivers that you think are open and make those decisions decisively. Most passing games are better from the pocket. Not always, right? Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, these are elite players in the NFL who can do just about anything they want outside of the pocket. And Martinez has got some of those skill sets too. But at the end of the day, what you really want is a guy that's going to stick in there and plant his feet, make the tough throw, make the hard throw. And I think Martinez is finally equipped with the kind of receivers that allow him to do that. You know, that what that means is, hey, you're able to throw a deep post. You're able to throw a nice comeback. You're able to throw an over route that maybe you get 2 or 3 seconds and you just fire away. He's got to stick in that pocket. Sometimes you're going to take a sack. Don't throw an interception, but be confident in your receivers and confident in your protection. And I think Martinez could have a good day passing. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Key number 3, play for a fourth quarter advantage. Nebraska has the bigger team. They probably have the stronger team. I think in the games that Nebraska's played against Illinois, I feel like there's been a physical advantage, generally speaking, for the Huskers. They haven't always taken advantage of it because they've turned the ball over so much. Now, sometimes what you got to do is you just got to accept, hey, you know what? We established the run on this drive. We ran 6 plays. It ended up in a punt. But we're going to be okay with that because we're going to kick it down to their 4, and then we're going to play the field position game. And in the fourth quarter, on a hot day in August, still in August, in Champaign, Illinois, Nebraska will have the advantage physically, and that's when you tack a couple of touchdowns on the board and you win something like 28-17. You have to be comfortable and confident in the kind of team that you're going to have in the fourth quarter. And too often during the Frost era, there's been a lot of moments where it's like, we're worried that we might not have a chance to win this game in the fourth quarter, so we got to go get it now. And I think at times it has put Nebraska a little bit behind the opponent. And so this is one of those moments, I would say, where Nebraska's the better team. You have to trust that you're the better team, keep running the football, and over the course of 4 quarters, you're going to physically dominate. So long as you don't turn it over, you're going to either be tied or slightly ahead going into the fourth, and that's when you can take control. That's a formula that I think can win Nebraska 7 or 8 games this year. They have to believe it. They have to be confident in it. They have to throw the football from the pocket. They have to make sure that Illinois doesn't hit a bunch of big runs on the outside. And when it comes to the fourth quarter, they have to have put in the money, the down payment, to get to the point where in the fourth quarter they can cash in. I think Nebraska wins this game, but I think it's going to be important they adhere to those 3 keys. Okay, for the Omaha World-Herald, omaha.com, and huskerextra.com, I'm Sam McKewon with the 3 keys. We'll be back next week.